What is going on, everybody? And I hope you're enjoying your Tuesday so far. This is NYG Jeffy T85, and I'm just here to go over some of the quick notes that happened during last night's Brooklyn Nets preseason loss, unfortunately, to the Philadelphia 76ers by the score of 127 to 108. But as we know, the preseason score doesn't really matter as much. It's just seeing and evaluating your players that you have on the roster, how they're going to be able to gel with one another, and which players are stepping up to possibly earn some minutes during the season, and which players right now look like they're going to have to ride the bench a little bit and maybe get themselves a little bit more reps in terms of practice time as well as maybe in the G League until they're eventually able to earn some of those minutes. Now, I have to say one of the things that I was impressed with the most, especially with the starting unit, was the passing and the flow of the offense. I loved the way that all these guys were pretty much trying to get the ball out of their hands to one of their teammates immediately, whether it was in transition, whether it was to the outside. They were always trying to use a good amount of ball movement to get it to their teammates and try to get these guys in the best positions to get the ball into the basket or, of course, hit them on the outside for a three-point shot. And I have to say right now, I'm actually very excited about this starting lineup. I really am. And the Nets pretty much rolled out with the starting lineup that I think that they're going to be rolling with most of this season, if not all of it, if these guys remain healthy. And that's Kyrie Irving at the point guard position. Then you had Joe Harris at the shooting guard position. You had Kevin Durant at the small forward. You have Ben Simmons at the power forward. You could always flip-flop the two of them, power forward, small forward. And you had Nicholas Claxton at the center. I really do believe that this Nets team, this Nets starting lineup, is going to be very effective going into the season. I really just love the dynamics of these guys. And I have to say, Ben Simmons looked pretty solid last night. Yeah, the stats aren't going to, jump off the table or anything because the fact that Simmons played in 19 minutes, he shot 3 of 6 overall in the field. He obviously didn't attempt a three-point shot. He was 0 for 2 from the foul line, so obviously you want him to get that better. He was able to bring down at least 4 rebounds overall, 3 defensive, 1 offensive. He had about 5 assists in the game with 1 steal. That's the part of the game you want to see from Ben Simmons going forward. And he was also at least able to put in 6 points, obviously with the 3 out of 6 in terms of his field goal percentage. He's obviously not going to go out there and score a lot, but that's okay. Ben Simmons is a guy that you want to try to be able to facilitate the ball, play great defense, and that's exactly what he did. So hopefully Ben Simmons is going to be able to continue to do that going forward. I really love what Nicholas Claxton is bringing to the table. And I even made a couple of videos. I believe Nicholas Claxton is going to be one of the biggest keys on this team. And I think he's going to start emerging as one of those better young centers in the league. He had 14 minutes last night, 6 of 6 from the field goal percentage. A lot of them were dunks. But obviously he was getting to the rim and he was able to put in some of those short rebounds and some of those bank shots in the basket and obviously getting a lot of dunks. He was able to pull down 4 rebounds during the game. He had a couple assists, including a really nice assist where he was able to regather the ball and toss it out to Kevin Durant to the outside for a nice three-point shot. So I liked what I saw from Nicholas Claxton in this game. And he was able to get 12 points, including 1 block shot. And that's obviously one of the things you want to see from him. And obviously, Durant, Irving, we're obviously going to be their normal sufficient selves out there. Both of them played 19 minutes during the game. Obviously, Steve Nash wanted to balance the lineup out, get the starters enough minutes out there, but obviously see what they have in the backup roles for these guys. I mean, Durant was 4 of 8 from the line, 4 for 4 from the free throw line, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. He had 13 points from the floor. Typical Kevin Durant game, 1 steal, 1 block. Irving was 4 for 8 from the floor, 1 for 3 from the three-point line. Durant was 1 for 4 from the three-point line. Irving also had 4 rebounds, 3 steals. That's what you love to see from Kyrie Irving, be able to go in there and steal the ball. He had a block in the game, and as well he was able to tally 9 points. Joe Harris coming back from his injury. He was a little bit slowed up in terms of his shooting. He was 2 for 7 from the floor, 2 for 7 from the three-point line. He had 1 rebound, 1 assist. He also had he didn't have a steal or turnover. He was able to put down 6 points. So the starting lineup actually put up some pretty decent numbers for the amount of limited time they had on the floor. Obviously, these guys played about 19 minutes. The lowest one was 14 minutes for Claxton, but obviously they wanted to try to balance the lineup out. But I just really like the flow of this starting lineup for the Nets. In terms of some of the role players, very balanced out from this team, and one guy I'm going to go in particular, Royce O'Neill. I really thought that Royce O'Neill was one of the biggest acquisitions for this team in the offseason, especially now the fact that Durant and Irving are still here. O'Neill played 17 minutes last night. He was 3 for 5 from the field from the field. Was 2 for 4 from the 3-point line, 3 for 3 in terms of his foul shooting. He was able to pull down at least about 2 rebounds, and he was able to have he put up 10 points. He put up 11 points during the game. So that's what you expect from a guy like Royce O'Neill. 3-point shooting and defense. 3 and D. And that's exactly what you love to see from a guy like Royce O'Neill. So I'm happy to see what he was able to bring to the table, as well as some of the other guys in terms of the depth. And that's the one thing I love about this Nets team right now is depth. They have a lot of strong depth on this team. Markieff Morris, 9 minutes, 2 for 3 from the field, 2 for 2 at the 3-point line. So you love the fact he's shooting threes and he's making them right now. 2 rebounds, 1 steal, and 6 points overall in 9 minutes of play. Like I mentioned, Royce O'Neill, 17 minutes overall, 3 for 5 from the field, 2 for 4 from the outside, 2 rebounds with 11 points on the field. Yuta Watanabe, one of the underrated guys the Nets picked up. 16 minutes, 3 for 5 from the field, 1 of 2 from behind the line, from behind the arc, 3 for 4 behind the foul shot, 4 rebounds, and 10 points on the field in 16 minutes. Love seeing that. David Duke Jr., 17 minutes, 0 for 2 from the field, 0 for 1 from the 3-point line. He was 1 for 2 from the foul line. He picked up 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and he had 1 point on the game. David Duke Jr. is really just that intangible players all over the field. Kessler Edwards, 15 minutes, 1 for 3 from the field goal line. He was 1 for 3 from 3-point line. He had 3 rebounds in the game, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block with 3 points overall. Deron Sharp, 19 minutes, 1 for 3 from the field, 0 for 1 from 3-point line, 4 for 9 from the free throw line. He had 4 rebounds in the game, 1 steal, 1 block, 6 points overall. So it's a balance right now you see with this team in terms of trying to get everybody the even amount of minutes. Patty Mills, 1 for 4 from the field, 1 for 3 behind the 3-point line, 1 for 1 at the free throw line. So you like seeing that. He had 1 rebound in the game, 1 assist with 4 points overall. One guy I was very impressed with last night, at least what I saw, Edmund Sumner. That's another guy that I talked about in some of my videos. Edmund Sumner, one of those intangible players, point guard coming off a severe injury with Indiana, but the kid does have talent. 15 minutes last night, 4 for 6 from the field, didn't take any 3-point shots, 4 for 4 from the foul line. He picked up 3 rebounds during the game, 2 assists, but he also picked up 12 points. That's a guy that you might be seeing as a guy that's going to be able to go out there and score some points with that second unit. And he was doing a good job slashing to the basket and getting his teammates open. So I love what I saw from Edmund Sumner. Thought he had a really good game last night. And a couple of the other ones I want to show. Cam Thomas, 18 minutes, 1 for 6 from the field. He was 5 for 5 from the foul line. He had 4 rebounds overall. He had 1 assist. And he had 7 points on the field, but his defense was an issue. But this kid can score, so he's going to go out there and hopefully he can improve on the rest of the part of his game. But this kid can score, and that's the one thing you love seeing from Cam Thomas. And then rounding it out, Chris Chiozza, 11 minutes, 0 for 1 from the field, 0 for 1 from 3-point line. He had 1 rebound, 1 assist. He had 1 rebound, 2 assists with 0 points on the field. Had a couple of turnovers in this game too. Chiozza, I think he's going to be destined for the G League. I just think the Nets have too much depth right now, and I just don't think Chiozza's got a fit on this team. And then Alondes Williams, the rookie out of Wake Forest, undrafted, 5 minutes overall, 1 for 4 from the field goal, 0 for 1 from the 3-point line, no rebounds, no assists. He had 2 points on the field. I really believe Alondes Williams is going to be a guy that is going to be destined for the G League. The Nets are going to try to get him as much seasoning as possible in the G League and see what he could do going forward. And obviously the couple of injuries the Nets did not play last night. Obviously, T.J. Warren coming back from a left foot fracture. He did not play. Nets are not expecting him back until probably around November, maybe December the latest. And Seth Curry coming back from left ankle surgery. He did not play last night, but right now he's on a timetable to be ready for the season starting in a couple of weeks in late October. So the Nets pretty much had a nice balanced attack right now. Yes, of course, the defense is still a little bit of an issue down by the basket. I think that Philadelphia, even though they were lights out from the field, and I have to say, I think a guy like Tyrese Maxey is going to be a big-time player for the Sixers this year. I think he's one of those uncovered gems for this team. Thibault, a defensive player over there. Obviously, you still have Tobias Harris, and obviously James Harden and Joel Embiid didn't play. So I think the Sixers have themselves some pretty solid scoring on that team. But the Nets have got to do a better job in terms of their defense inside the basket. I thought that there was still too many open shots for the Sixers by the open basket, especially with the second team with the Nets. So they got to do better in terms of their defense going forward by the rim. But obviously the Sixers just shot the lights out last night, and that's going to happen from time to time, where you're just going to face a team that's just going to be lights out from behind the line. But I really was impressed with the Nets' balanced offense, and especially that starting unit. I'm excited to see what Durant, Harris, Claxton, Irving, and Simmons are going to be able to do as a starting unit. And then obviously when you're able to get Seth Curry and TJ Warren back on the floor as part of that reserve unit, which looks like it's going to be Edmund Sumner, Deron Sharp, Royce O'Neill, Markieff Morris, Patty Mills. It's going to be a very, very balanced attack for this Nets team. Probably just going to go by the matchups on who's going to play more and who isn't. So, I mean, I was very impressed with Royce O'Neill and Edmund Sumner the most. Deron Sharp showed a little bit as well. Yuta Watanabe played very well last night. So I think the Nets are going to have a very balanced attack with this team. And it's going to be able to divide up the minutes solid, where you're not going to have Durant, Irving, Simmons, and all these guys get gassed out towards the end of the season, and you're going to be able to have the bench be able to go in there and provide some decent scoring and defense out there on the floor. So I was very happy to see that with the Nets. Yes, you want to see them win, but you know what? It's preseason. The score doesn't really matter. It's about seeing what you have in your reserve players, and obviously showing what you can do in terms of your lineup and how you're going to be able to construct your lineup with Steve Nash going forward with this team heading into the season in a couple of weeks. So that's just my evaluations I want to give on this preseason loss with the Nets. I'm going to make sure to give some more preseason evaluations, and obviously going into the regular season with the Brooklyn Nets, going into these games. So if you guys like this video, please hit the like button below. Sub up if you haven't already to NYG Jeffrey T. NYG Jeffrey T 85. I almost said 32. The 32 is gone. NYG Jeffrey T 85 for more news, updates, and game reactions surrounding the Brooklyn Nets. Turn on the bell for notifications. The next video is short that's going to be dropping on the channel surrounding the Nets. And let me know in the comment section what you guys thought about the Nets game last night, the preseason opener, as the Nets fell to the Philadelphia 76ers at Barclay Center by the score of 127-108. What you liked about this game, what you didn't like, who you was impressed with last night, who you weren't impressed with, and how do you think Steve Nash is going to put together this rotation for the rest of the preseason, and obviously leading into the regular season starting in a couple of weeks in late October. So I thank you very much, everybody. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Take it easy, and always remember, let's go Brooklyn Nets. As you know, it's a Nets world, everyone, and you are just living in it.